Welcome to Manufacturing Matters, the podcast where we shine a spotlight on Alaska's makers, doers, and innovators. I'm Sami Jo.
And I'm Megan. We're here to share the incredible stories of Alaska's manufacturers and the industry experts helping them thrive.
This show is brought to you by the Alaska MEP, the Manufacturing Extension Partnership, helping manufacturers across the state to innovate, grow, and stay competitive.
So each episode, we will bring you conversations with the people behind the Alaskan-made products, the challenges that they face, and the solutions that keep moving them forward. We'll also chat with the industry experts who provide insights, tools, and strategies to help those manufacturers succeed.
So whether you're a maker yourself, a supporter of the local industry, or just curious about what goes on behind the scenes, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello. Happy day, everyone. We're super excited. We have Keith with us today. How are you doing, Keith?
Doing awesome. Glad to be here.
Perfect. Well, we're glad to have you here, and we are super excited to dive into Stella Mae's seafood boil. Keith is the founder, the creator. We want to learn all about your background and really what inspired this business to kick off and get started in Alaska.
Man, so the inspiration is definitely the name Stella Mae. That's my mother. I grew up in the kitchen with her, cooking at her side, and she was always that one in the neighborhood. Like when everybody else was cooking, everybody would bring their food to her to taste it, and she would tell them what's wrong with it, how to fix it, or whatever the case is. So that's how I grew up, and a lot of those recipes got passed on to me, and that has stayed with me my entire life. And then I found myself, I love being in the kitchen. That's what I'm most happy at. I'm in there singing and whatever, even shopping, I'm happy. But then even in the military, I found myself cooking for people, doing events, baking cakes and all these different kind of things. I was like, you know what? Maybe this is a road that I should pursue. And then 24 years later, I retired from the military and I was like, what do I do now? And I had so many things in my mind initially, like most people retire. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I was thinking about a restaurant. I was looking at a food truck. But then I'm like, I just got my freedom back. I didn't want to be bogged down in one place. But then I had to think, like, how could I share my passion for food with people still without being locked into one place? A seasoning. So then the development started. And that took almost like a year of playing with, trying over and over again. And I was here in Alaska, and I was looking around and I was like, something is missing. So, then I went over to UAA Culinary School, met a lot of people over there, met a lot of local chefs, worked in a few of the restaurants around town in Anchorage to kind of get a feel of what's going on and confirm what I thought I knew already. Then I figured out what it was missing. And I was like, the seafood boil is missing. So, and what's really happened is I initially started out creating a seafood boil spice to take the average cook's seafood boil over the top. And it's turned out to be so much more. People are doing so many more things with it. So it's even more than I initially imagined.
I love that.
Same.
Gosh.
Also, I've worked with Keith now for a while, so watching your progress has been really amazing. But I want to just curious about your story. What did you do in the military?
Everything. Everything. Literally.
Okay, but you weren't a cook.
But I wasn't a cook. I wasn't a cook.
Okay. Just got into that later on.
Well, it was instilled in him at such a young age. I feel like you were always kind of cooking on the side, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I was always cooking. I was in different places. Some places I was cooking, making plates and foods on Sundays and selling them out of my home. There was always some kind of cooking going on. At dinner time, people would just show up at my house every day. So I was always cooking. Even like military events, they were like, hey, we're going to have this event on this day. We're going to have X amount of people. And, they start handing out tasks. I always got the same task. I was on a grill somewhere.
Oh,
I love that.
I was always cooking one way. But primarily, I've had several MOSs in the military. But the one I've was the most was a rigger, meaning anything dealing with parachutes, jumping out of planes, dropping equipment from planes.
Wow.
That was my
Wow.
job.
Okay.
Cool.
I had never asked that before, and I was so curious. And I'm like, oh, maybe he was a cook. It would make sense, right? But
Right.
not, which makes it even more interesting that you went through a whole military career without ever having that MOS, and it's still something that you gravitate towards. And so when you went to UA, you went to the culinary school there.
Yes.
Nice.
I got
Nice.
actually, I did not complete the school yet. I'm going to go back to school once Stella Mae's is up and running officially, but I have too much going on right now to actually do that. But within the next year, I plan to be back in school because I won't be working for anybody except myself.
Nice.
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
And what a cool story. I love that it was like instilled with you in such a young age. And it sounds like your mom was kind of the go-to person for recipes and trying out things. And then it kind of molded onto you because then people now are hitting you up in the military and finding you and seeking you out for all the cooking. And it was like really like a fun passion project on the side with you doing another MOS in the military. And now you're dedicating your time to it. I love that.
Yeah.
What a cool story.
I know. So much fun. And then also, let me just say that the spice bomb, like the seafood boil part, is so unique as well. We don't have seafood boils really happening up here. I think there's like one place that may do it at a restaurant, but a lot of people are not very familiar about it. So tell me more about your, just, I don't know, Sami knows, but tell me more about your seafood boil plans in the state of Alaska.
Ooh, yes.
It is so crazy, like, to me, because I've been feeding a lot of people. And actually I recently did a feeding at with some radio executives and television executives who I'll be doing some marketing with. And I have all of these people that have traveled all over the place, and they're down at this table and they're enjoying the food. But there's a couple of them there that have never had a seafood boil in their life. This is an entirely new experience. And that's strange to me because where I come from, everybody knows what a seafood boil is. And I keep meeting more and more people like that. And in such a place like this in Alaska, such a major seafood hub, how is that not a thing, a major thing? So amazing that we're talking about that, because tomorrow I'll be cooking for the Anchorage Assembly. And actually, I'll be making my first presentation or proposal to make the seafood boil the Alaska state dish.
Oh my gosh.
And Alaska doesn't have a state dish. Is that, I would assume not.
So I've looked around. They don't really have one officially. They have some like unofficial stuff, not yet. So I'm shooting for it. And I think, and I've got a whole thing typed up as to why the seafood boil should be the state dish. I mean, he talked about the people. It's a credit to our, the history and lineage of being, fishing and all that stuff like that. It's a communal food, and Alaska's about community. There's so many reasons why the seafood boil should be the state dish. And then, once they say yes to it, because I'm going to twist their arm till they do, right? And then we can actually use it as a marketing. Oh yeah, I don't stop. That's the one thing I got from the military. You don't stop. Then we can use it as a marketing tool, actually to bring more people to Alaska. Because when people come to Alaska, I hear a lot when they come here, where do you tell people to go? I'm not putting you on the spot. But people come here, they come here for the sights and all this other stuff and outdoorsy stuff. But where do we tell them, hey, this is the place you must go eat? Where's that must food?
I think that's
what is
hard.
That food that they must have before they eat? Right? So we have to
definitely
create
halibut. See,
That's where
I can name the foods,
halibut.
but it's hard to name like a place, right?
Like I'm like, I always try to recommend like a fish place, like somewhere that's or like the Yak Burger or something like that. I try to maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
See, now here's the unique thing about it, right? So if we can get them to come to Alaska, have an amazing seafood boil, not only are they going to have it here, they can go back home and not just tell their friends about it. They're going to take home the spice bomb with them and be able to recreate that experience with their friends.
Bring Alaska home with you.
You can't do that with a Yak Burger.
Nope.
Truth.
Exactly.
I love that.
Let me just say too, if you haven't had anybody listening, if you haven't had a seafood boil yet, what Keith is saying, that communal part of it, it's not just like at your plate. Everybody's surrounded. Just to get a little visual, people are surrounding a table or a bowl, or it's all dumped out on a table. Keith, we've had it at one of your classes that you've had at the Dirty Apron, where you're teaching people also how to do these seafood boils. And that just being right next to each other, I don't know if it's like eating with your hands, not eating on plates. You're all just in the mix of one thing,
Right.
but it really does feel different.
Family style
it
connection.
feels so different. Yeah. And it's amazing.
Exactly.
I love
So
that. And I love your
it's funny that you
ambition.
mentioned that because, oh yeah, you about to dominate the world with this one. So starting with Alaska, but so when I do classes down at the Dirty Apron, it's such a beautiful thing because you see all these people come in as strangers, and then they cook this dish together. And then we sit down and break bread and everybody's digging in. And by the time we leave, everybody's friends and they're exchanging numbers, all of that. So the power of food is something just outstanding.
Totally.
I love that. Building community through your seasoning. And then it's also not locking you down, hanging you up. Like, it's such a beautiful plan. And I love the ambitious. I mean, it's going to be, you guys heard it here. It's going to be the state dish.
Yes.
Heard it first here.
I'm so excited.
No.
It's happening.
I love
It's
it.
happening.
I'm super excited. So can you walk me through kind of what your production process looks like? And are all of your spices blended right here in Alaska?
Everything is done right here in Alaska. Everything is done right here in Alaska. My marketing team, everything is done right here. We try to keep this as close to home as possible. My production, what it looks like right now, is literally me and my family throwing out seasonings in a big mixer, mixing it up, and by hand each package. That's
Wow.
that's the production right now.
Love it.
Room to scale,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to be even more
Lots of
exciting.
room.
As you get these commercials out, because you're going to be running commercials as well. Like
Oh, that's exciting.
the reach, and this isn't just for Alaska. This is like anywhere you can
Bring Alaska home with you.
Yes,
It's the state dish.
That's right, man. Sami.
That's right. That's right.
love
It's
it.
happening. It's happening.
No, I'm super excited for you. So with this amazing business that you've gotten started, you know, I'm sure it has its challenges, as what we always hear in Alaska. So can you tell us, and just really any manufacturing in general? So can you tell me a little bit about the challenges you face growing this product in Alaska, and how have you overcome them?
Well, I am just like everybody else, right? We have this great idea, and then you realize that you know nothing about what you need to do. I knew absolutely nothing, right? And now you're sitting around trying to figure out, and you are YouTubing, you reading everything. I'm staying up for weeks at a time trying to gain as much information as you possibly can. And you will go crazy. There's so much information down there, and then trying to narrow it down. So the number one thing that I would recommend to anybody that's thinking about getting into anything that requires manufacturing of any type of sort, find a mentor.
Love that.
Right? That is the number one thing I'm going to tell you. Find a mentor, someone that's going to be able to keep you from making those expensive mistakes that you're going to make. That's going to allow you to get a little sleep, and that's going to allow you to enjoy this process. Right? I get to enjoy this process because I have mentors that help me out, that I get to call on for every little thing and answer my questions, versus me having hundreds of sleepless nights trying to figure everything out on my own. So that'd be the number one thing. Two, my biggest thing is there's a lot of things, because we are Alaska, there's a lot of things that we don't have available here in Alaska.
Right.
That we have to, outsource and have imported in, and all that stuff is expensive. All this stuff is expensive. So I think I met Megan initially at the 10 million cups,
1 million
and
cups. Yeah.
1 million cups. And so I got a chance to listen to a lot of different people and the issues that they were having, and then going to the manufacturing gatherings, whatever. So we're all going through the same thing. So eventually enough of us are going to get together. We're going to make enough noise, and we're going to resolve some of these issues.
Yep.
That's right. I think that's key too in Alaska, is that we do face a lot of the same challenges. And if we can come together and think outside of the box, we can overcome them. But each of us facing all of those challenges on our own, we're just hitting the same walls,
Right.
over and over again. We don't have the capital. We don't have the people to back us up. Like, we need to come together as a unit. Military, right? We need to come together as a unit and see how we can hurdle over that wall.
Right. How we can
Yeah.
help each other out, help each other grow.
Come to our manufacturing mixers. That's what we're doing there.
Yep.
Yes. Getting our people together so we can figure out how we can overcome.
Yep. Building that community.
Yeah.
Big community. So I mean, like, one made two big ones, right? For creating spices, there's no place really here to help. Someplace that you can go right here in the state to do co-packing.
Right.
Mhm.
So we would have the co-pack down in the state somewhere, then have it boxed up, shipped back up here. That's very expensive and timely, right?
Yep.
So that's one issue we can solve. And then something else I heard at 1 million cups, which was amazing to me. We don't create boxes here in Alaska.
Truth. Mm-hmm.
Blew my mind, right? And everyone here uses boxes. So the first group of people that come together and figure out a way to create boxes in Alaska is going to win, right? That means you will get all the people here in Alaska. So I'm talking to everybody. Let's get together and figure this thing out.
Yeah, definitely a gap. I think another way that we can get together is like shipping consolidation, or like order consolidating.
Yep.
Like, hey, you order a bunch of salt, or you order a bunch of this. Like, how can we team up and get those higher volume discounts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
fill that truck, fill that load.
Oh my gosh,
having
that
things
too.
go half empty.
Yes. Getting a whole truck. We know getting a whole truckload is going to be cheaper than getting one pallet or something like that. So yeah, this is where we're a bunch of small little fish, and how can we come together to really overcome?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect example. I talked to Megan about this. I think I blew her mind. I was like, I had to sit down for some bulk spices. And because I was buying them in bulk, it was a very cheap deal. But to get them sent here, it cost me, because I bought it in bulk, cost me like maybe $100, if that. But to get it shipped back here was $200, almost $300.
Yep.
Oh,
it should not cost more to move the product than to buy the actual product. Yeah, like to buy the actual ingredient.
That's crazy.
These are the frustrations that we deal with in Alaska.
Yep.
That we're going to figure out.
Yeah, because you're not the only one. This is something that we hear repeatedly.
Yes.
Yeah. No, so I so love that you brought up mentorship, and I feel like that is so key. You don't want to be in this alone. Can I ask you, where did you go and how did you find your mentors? It sounds like you have a few different mentors. Where did you seek out that resource, and how did you build that relationship to have that mentorship with you to help Stella Mae's blossom to where you are now?
Well, I knew that I didn't know anything. So I literally attended a meeting almost every day somewhere around Anchorage until I found my which is a good book that I recommend to anybody. Who, Not How.
Okay.
And it changed, I swear, it changed my mindset. Anybody that I recommended this book to, if your mind is not changed within the first 5 pages, whatever money you spend, I'll refund it. That's how strong this book is to me. But because I'm military in nature, I can do everything. I can figure it all out.
Right.
I read this book and it was like, no, you can't. No, you can't. And you're not meant to be, right?
Yeah.
Major shift, right? Find your who's, right? There are things that I can do. There's things that I can do well, whatever. But just because I can do them don't mean I should be doing those things. Find people that love doing those things. They're going to do it 1,000 times better and 1,000 times faster. and without
Mhm.
causing myself stress.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Boom, mind shift. So I was at 1 Million Cubs. I was at all these business mixtures, all the different places, and I've met a lot of great people. My
Love that.
my number one mentor is right there by your side, Megan. She's been with me
Yeah.
from all the way. And anybody that knows me, the first thing they ask me, could I talk about mentorship all the time? I throw Megan's name out there. That's my business
Aw,
partner,
thank you.
right?
Yes.
Um, I'm telling everybody this is the way to do it. And then I'm asking questions. We're having meetings, and she's asking me questions. It's a question that I hadn't even thought about yet. I'm taking notes. I'm like, okay, all right. And I'm just going step by step.
Yeah.
And my initial plans was, was just to get everything up and running. And then I sat back and I'm listening to Megan, and I'm doing a real eval of what I'm doing. And I'm like, this is messy.
Mm.
This is messy. This is not together. This is not the professional brand that I wanted to be. And it's not going to make the statement that I needed to make for the world to take me seriously. Okay, I need to sit back. I need to rebrand. I need to find my who's and do what I need to do. So we are in the midst of rebranding right now. The website is being rebuilt right now. She linked me with Lacey, who is absolutely amazing as my branding coordinator, if you will. I don't make a move without him. I don't make a move without him. Actually, I just texted her this morning. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, I got this going on. This was on my mind. Only reason I didn't text you yesterday because it was Easter, but soon stuff hit my mind. I shoot it
Oh,
out. I don't even wait because sometimes stuff gets lost. So I don't even want that stuff to get lost. I shoot it out
yeah.
immediately, and then I'm like you said, the people that love doing those things,
Mm-hmm.
they're excited about the job opportunity, and they're jumping on it, and they're taking it to whole new levels. Like I talked to Lacey, I give her what's in my brain, and she just magnifies it like 1,000. She has never sent me back something through email or text, whatever, that I wasn't totally. I'm doing my happy dance. I'm spinning around. People are looking at me like I'm crazy. It's like so bad right now. I wake up in the morning. I'm going straight to my email like a kid on Christmas, looking for something from Megan or Lacey. Like, yes,
I
a new
love it.
piece of information or something. So I am truly enjoying this process, and I'm looking forward to the first quarter, which is actually going to be in like September after everything is up and running to see what we're doing. I've joined Entrepreneur Daily, which is a magazine, if you will, that shares lots of good information. And there's an article that I read in there maybe a couple of months ago about a company, Olipop, that is doing very great in the industry. And looking at all the different marketing techniques and schemes that all these different organizations are using, and figure out which one fits my brand the best. And
Yeah.
I figured that out, and we are ready to hit the ground running.
I'm so excited. So much to unpack here, but that is
Oh,
incredible. Oh my gosh. So basically what I'm hearing from you is number 1, get out there in the community, find the different meetings, find the different entrepreneur clubs, the different associations,
Meet the different
build that
people.
community.
Yeah.
And then
yes.
you know what? You said it correctly. Megan, you're a rock star. I mean, she's also been my mentor. She's been a business partner. I thoroughly enjoy working with Megan. Anyone that has not had the opportunity to work with Megan, her enthusiasm for brands, you're missing out, okay? Because she is literally your manufacturer cheerleader. So I completely echo that.
100%. Because when I
Yes.
say her name, it rings bells to other people. Everybody
Yeah.
knows who she is, right?
Yes.
And like, soon I say, hey, I want to do a Megan. Oh, boom, let's go. Let's do it.
Megan. Yep.
Yeah,
She is
Megan,
here
got
to
it. Let's
support
go.
you, lift you up. She is just such a cheerleader. And then Lacey, her branding expertise, I saw a little sneak peek of your logo. It's looking amazing. I am literally just so over the moon happy for you. So you guys heard it here. Find your mentor, find your who's, get those people that can really lift it up. Because what you said best is you have all these special skills and passions. Obviously, you love making food and cooking and making this, but really getting that outside perspective is really going to give you, because there's going to be things where you're so close to your baby or your product, your passion. You're not going to see different like marketing angles or branding or just things that you might be missing that you wouldn't even know the questions to ask because you're so close to it. And so getting that outside perspective is just so important, I think, regardless who that is. You just got to find those who's, because everyone has different superpowers. So we got to have those different strengths that play in that role.
100%. 100%.
Thank you for also trusting me, Keith, with your brand. I would love to say a couple things about that. That you are making this investment now in the beginning, and that you sat back and really looked at the picture. I think that is so valuable. And I think a lot of our early stage entrepreneurs don't really do that, because I didn't do that. I was just like, oh, here's this thing that I'm doing. Sell it here, sell it there, sell it here. But when we actually get a clear strategy, I think it just makes it more manageable. Also, you don't need to be like, oh, I need to find these people over here, or I need to make these sales this way. It's like, no, you have a plan. You have a plan of attack. You have a plan of approach. You have a go-to-market strategy. Like, if this brand looks like this, we're talking to a specific person that is going to ideally gravitate towards that. Your packaging is going to look on point, which is the first impression that you're going to be making to anybody. Because as much as we want to be there, like telling people how awesome our product is, we can't be everywhere that our product is.
Yes.
Right. So that package is going to be so important. So all of the investment that you've made, the transformation that I've seen since November with your brand, I cannot wait for this like launch to see how people respond to it, because it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's done well. Amazing. There isn't a spice there. This isn't a thing that exists that I've seen. I haven't seen this.
So I haven't either.
I can't wait. I'm honored to be a part of the journey.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to just see it.
Yeah.
So speaking about launch, do you have a set target launch date when, as people are watching this and you're being like, man, I want that. I want to have a seafood boil. When can they find you? When are you hoping to launch so that people can get a hold of Stella Mae's seafood bomb?
So actually, it's funny you mentioned it, because I just actually, the text that I just sent out was to Lacey and my web designer, make sure, like, listen, we need to be no later than May 9th. We need to be up and running. We need to be up and running and live, getting ready for the summer season, getting ready for tourist season.
Tourism.
Right?
That's right.
Right. And then actually, Meg, I'm glad I was sitting back this week in my brainstorm, because actually I'm thinking about all these organizations that run hikes and all this different kind of stuff. If you're running hikes, that should be your endpoint. You want to take your hiking experience to the next level. If you're providing hikes to people, you should take them on a hike. You don't even tell them what they're eating. When they return to have this amazing seafood boil.
Ooh,
that would be cool. I would love to do something like that.
Such a cool tourism package too, like people, because it's gonna, you heard it here, it's gonna become the state dish, and I can just imagine people wanting to travel here. Maybe they go on this amazing like guided hike or hike to the glacier, and then they end with like a cool seafood boil with Stella Mae seafood. Like I could just like picture really this package together, and it's like you're tasting Alaska and you're experiencing Alaska, and like who doesn't want that as like an outside,
it's like a full Alaska experience?
Yes.
Exactly. See, you get it. You get it.
I see your vision.
That's it.
I'm excited. Full package. So from the beginning, I know we kind of touched on like mentorships and how important that is, but for somebody that might be watching this that maybe has an idea in their head, but they haven't actually, taken that next step, how did you come from like a family recipe or idea to now, okay, I'm going to package it, I'm going to sell it, I'm going to do this? Like, what steps did you take to get you from this is an idea to now I'm pursuing it and you have a production line and all that?
Man, I think I have an unfair advantage with all the years in the military, right? Because I believe all things are possible. That's just the way I think. There's no failure is not an option. If I think it, I can do it. Right?
Yes.
And then it's really about, you can't really accomplish anything by yourself. You really just have, I can't stress it enough. You just have to find the right people, believe in yourself when others don't. Because there's always going to be those naysayers out there that say that doesn't make sense, you're wasting your time, whatever the case is.
Huh?
And one analogy that has really stuck with me, because people will always say, there's so many spices out there, there's so many thises out there, there's so many that. There's no room for you, right? There's no way for you to make it. And this analogy is walk down your bread aisle. Walk down your bread aisle and look at all the different brands of bread.
Mm-hmm.
They're all selling the same thing. They just got different brands on them. So
That's true.
why there's room for me.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I love that. Walk down the bread aisle.
Yes,
That is
there we
so
go.
impactful. It is. It's really impactful because I feel like that's something that a lot of people, me, myself, get in my head where I'm like, oh, there's this competitor or there's that competitor and maybe there's not really a space. And I remember hearing something from someone else that's like, there's room for everyone at the top, but I still feel like that might be easier said than done because there's still so many fears just instilled inside so many of us. But walk down your bread aisle. I love that.
Yeah, why not? Why can't you be one of them?
Right. There is room for you.
Yeah.
And then you just aim high.
Yes.
Once again, I already know, when I did my can't even think of my analysis, my SWOT analysis, biggest career. And I named a big hitter far as my competition. They was like, really? Yeah, I'm going after I'm not here to play games and barely make a mark. I'm coming here to punch people in the face. Right? I'm here to punch people in the face and let them know I'm here.
Yes.
And the biggest seafood spice maker out there is Old Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Old Bay. So in my mind, I'm not even on the map yet, but Old Bay is my target.
And that is what you need to do, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like go high.
Have that goal.
They have figured out their brand.
Mm-hmm.
Great subject to study.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Like you said too, like looking at all of those different people and seeing how they're marketing to different folks, like what tactics are they using? You know, there's that outdoor gear brand, Cotopaxi. The guy would show up with a llama to shows. That was his thing. But that's
cool.
I know, it's so random, right? So there's like so many out of the box things that people can use. And that's how we got to get the brand out there.
Yeah.
I think just even talking about seafood boils is like so niche in itself.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, why not go for Old Bay? If they're the only ones, they're the only ones I see on the shelf. Like, why can't you be right next to them?
Right.
I would love another option.
Same. And I feel like you have that Alaska backing, which Alaska, we talk about this so much. Alaska is really a brand in itself. And so having that also as kind of like a backing is so cool. I feel I'm born and raised, but so many people outside of Alaska is like, Alaska, like they're excited.
Totally.
So you have so much going for you. I'm so excited. So excited.
I can't. Sometimes I can't even sleep. I'm so excited, and I'm just thinking. I had to turn my brain off. Like, nope. Today, right now, you just need to relax. Go to the gym and do something else. Take your mind off of it.
Yeah.
Because I am truly loving this journey. And do your homework. You asked what else would you do? Do your homework. I know who Old Bay is. I can tell you the founder, when he came to this country, how he developed his spice blend, how he became popular, everything.
Smart.
Yeah. Research your competitors.
Yeah.
Have that goal, have that target, and do the research. And like you're doing that. And that is so important. And you really just kind of like stole the next question, which was going to be, you've given us so many pieces of advice to give and pass on to other manufacturers or small business entrepreneurs that could be watching this and getting inspired. I mean, get a mentor, get out in your community, find those classes, study your competitors. You can't do everything yourself. Find your people and make it happen. I mean, so many valuable advice from this episode. I so appreciate that, Keith. Amazing.
Yeah, I thought that this was very full of nuggets. And with where you're at too, you're at this very early stage. I mean, you just started last year, right? Like at the end of last year. Yeah. So this is for our makers and manufacturers watching, like this is just the beginning. Like this is the very beginning of that rise of a brand, right?
Mhm.
So being able to watch it and be a part of it, check out your Spice Bomb, find Stella Mae's as stores near you, I'm sure within this next year, because
Right.
what do we say, Keith? The next goal is to be on the shelf within a year. I mean, that's not
Yes.
going to be hard. We're going to make that happen.
Right. And
Yeah.
your website sounds like that'll be launching beginning of May. So people
Oh,
can be finding you then. And that should be an orderable site so people can be able to go on and order your spices. So
yes,
be on the
ma'am.
lookout for Stella Mae's come May. That's soon.
Yes.
That's right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. Right around the
Mm.
corner. I am so excited. We are already getting phone calls. I'm already getting emails just like from Facebook and stuff. We
Amazing.
be shipping spices all over the place. And another hidden gem, you got to use influencers.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. I like that.
Mm.
Your homework, find those influencers out there that want to work with you.
Yeah.
Build those relationships with them. It was hard to find Alaskan influencers, but I found them.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Found them. They're here. And so
Yeah.
when people see this marketing campaign right now, I just have to make sure that you're going to see it. I'm going to make it impossible for you not to see it.
I love that. And I just
Yeah.
want to mention too, something that's unique about what Keith is doing is that the laws in Alaska recently changed for cottage food into now it's called home-based foods. And you're actually able to ship within Alaska. So before the law was that everything had to be direct to consumer, face to face. I sell
Oh.
you this thing, you buy it from me. No stores are selling that product for those people that are making it at home. But the laws just changed to where now you can actually ship within the state of Alaska. So that website being operational, having the ability to ship within the state before you even go and get into like that certified kitchen, like
That's huge.
oh my gosh, being able to work that and kind of figure things out before taking that next scalable leap. This is
Right.
going to be so big for our Alaskan manufacturers that are
Yeah.
just getting into the game. So I am another reason why I'm so excited to see how your product does, because this is a new shift in the state.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a new way for our home-based food entrepreneurs to operate.
What better
Mm.
time to get in than now? That's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
Timing.
I love that. So this has been such an amazing conversation. So I really appreciate your time, Keith. There's literally so many things I just want to like pull out and shift and send. I'm like, oh my gosh, amazing. We always love to end our episodes with, why does manufacturing matter to you?
Man, it's going to sound cliche, but if you think about America and put it in context, when America was great, it was due to manufacturing.
Mm. I like
When
that.
America was great, it was due to manufacturing. And
Right.
once we shipped it all overseas, that's when things took a turn. So we have to find a way that bring that back, right? And then, because you remember generations worked in those factories and stuff like that. So we
Right.
start figuring out how to create these systems ourselves and not waiting for these big corporations and stuff like that to do it for us. Start
Yep.
creating these small factories and small manufacturing, systems, and we can hire people and take care of our people ourselves.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think it strengthens our local
Local economy,
ecosystem.
yeah.
Yes. Very valuable.
Builds jobs and communities, everything is made. So if we're able to, and then it helps really prepare us for who knows what happens on the road. COVID, I mean, that was huge.
Oh yeah, any disaster or anything, like it would be behoove of us to be able to rely on ourselves.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
As a nation.
exactly.
Yes.
Boo.
I like it.
Just subtly. Yeah. Well, this was amazing.
Yeah, this
you,
was
Keith.
such a fun conversation. I'm so excited and happy, and I just cannot wait to see your website launch. And
Oh,
I'm just a
yeah.
huge fan of you, Keith, and I'm so excited for what will come of Stella Mae's. And thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
How can
Thank you.
people find you, reach you?
Yes.
This episode's going to air, I want to say probably in a couple weeks. So let us know how our people can
Find you.
find your stuff.
Actually, right now you can find me on Facebook, Stella Mae's Spices and Recipes. Right now on Facebook, and that's pretty much all I have going on right now. I do have, yeah, that's the big one. I haven't even set up a Instagram yet because that has to be set up correctly so that it links with the page and everything looks, meshes. So I didn't want to mess that up. I want to make sure everything is perfect. But Facebook, Stella Mae's spices and recipes is the best way to find me right now.
Do you already have a domain for your website?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's your
Stella
domain?
Mae's, StellaMays.food.
Ooh, that's cool.
Fun. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I didn't want a .com. StellaMays.food. That's where we're going to be.
I like
love
it.
that.
Awesome.
We'll link that down here because hopefully it's launched by the time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
As time deserves.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for this interview today. I so love getting to chat with you and learning more about Stella Mae's and exciting things to come. So thank you so much, Keith.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
That's a wrap on another episode of Manufacturing Matters. A huge thank you to our guests for sharing their journey with us.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a fellow maker.
And want to take your manufacturing business to the next level? Visit alaska-mep.com and schedule a free consultation with our business team.
Until next time, keep building, keep creating, and keep proving that manufacturing matters.